Hello, if you're new here, my name's Debbie. I'm a 50-something artist living and working in the Lake District, UK, and I make videos about art and life. I'd like to talk a little bit about my practice this week. I've been feeling a bit pulled in several different directions. On the one hand, there's the canvas work I'm working on in my studio, and on the other hand, there's the illustration work and the collage work that I really enjoy making in my home studio. And for a long time I've tried to reconcile the two, and I think this week I've just come to a conclusion that never the twain will meet. They're just not going to come together in any kind of cohesive way, and I've got to get my head around these two aspects of my creativity: illustration and art. I think for my illustration I've come to some kind of realization that I love painting on wooden panels. I like acrylic, I like gouache, I like and love, and I think I'm quite proficient, if that's not too arrogant, at collage. I found a style that seems to work with me. I can work with found papers and created papers, and I think I've found a way to make illustration work for me. Same with digital illustration. I kind of sometimes dip in and out of adding overlays of digital illustration on top of analog illustrations, and I fall in and out of love with that. Sometimes I think it adds a little extra something, and sometimes I think it looks a bit too fake, but I'm finding my way with digital work too. I've not found my way with canvas work yet, but it's what I love the most, and I think it's going to be something that divides people. You're either gonna love it or hate it, and I've reconciled myself to that now. It's not going to be the kind of art for everyone, but I enjoy making and trying to figure out what I want to say and what feelings I want to evoke and what kind of colours I need to use. I love figuring it all out, and I love finding ways to make things that I can see in my head but I can't quite yet create on the canvas, and it's a real puzzle for me, but I'm really enjoying coming up with my own kind of language and my own way of expressing myself there. With my illustration, I think it's accessible to a lot of people. It feels safe, and there's always been that age-old conundrum: what is the difference between illustration and art? And I think I've come to the conclusion with illustration, it's kind of like an answer. It's descriptive and it informs, but with art it's a question. And I'm leaning more into I flip-flop between the two. I kind of like the solid answers of illustration and the firm lines and the trodden path of illustration when I'm feeling a bit too overwhelmed, and then after a while that feels a bit too monotonous and a bit too boring, and I like to get back to the canvas. I almost threw all my canvases out at the beginning of last month. I thought I was done with canvas. I'm just going to stick with wooden panels. But I know myself by now, and I never make any rush decisions, and I'm really glad I just held on to them for a bit longer, because I think I'm starting to find a way through. I'm starting to find ways that work for me, and I'm getting really excited about canvases again. But yeah, just some all over the place thoughts this week. I've been dipping in and out of illustration, getting inspired by where I live, and then just getting to the studio as much as possible. But yeah, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe button, and hopefully I will see you next week. Bye bye.